Current weather situation: sunny, about 90 degrees, humidity a little bit less. Alright guys, so we have a super busy day today. Got some cool stuff going on, some not so cool stuff going on. You know, the usual when it comes, I don't know ever how to start these videos. There's always so much going on. I don't know what you guys are going to think is cool and what's garbage. But anyway, we got all the parts for the shop Jeep. I don't know if you guys remember that from a bunch of videos back, but we got the headlight bezel and grill support. We got the grill. We got the upper radiator support. We also got the bumper support. We got a new front fender. We got a set of headlights. We got the lower radiator support, and we got the bumper. So we are good when it comes to that. We have all the parts that we need for that one, so that's freaking awesome. I can't wait to put that thing together, but Sherry just told me I got to get everything else out of here before I can work on the Jeep, so that's gonna have to wait a little bit. We're going to be working on that today at some point. We've also got these two manifolds here, and basically what we need to do with these is we need to cut off this wastegate flange, cut off this wastegate flange. This is a 60 mil, this is a 50 mil. We somehow have to make this wastegate flange fit where this wastegate flange used to be. So that's going to be the interesting task for this morning. Then we also have to go over to the lathe today. We got an order for some custom spacers. We got to build some custom spacers. And then we are going to be working on the 240. Today we're going to do as much as we possibly can to try to get this car to a state where we can start it. I'm not holding any promises. This day is crazy so far, and it's only noon. So I guess we're going to find out quickly what ends up happening with the day. But my goal for today is to get all of that stuff done. I want to get that manifold welded first, get those spacers made, start working on the 240, get that done, get that out of here, and then hopefully everything will be good. The day will go smooth. We won't have too many interruptions. So let's get on with it. Alright, one thing down. We got the manifold done. Let me tell you how much I love working with used exhaust stuff that you have to cut off of other used exhaust stuff and weld back on to more used exhaust stuff. There's no cleaning this crap properly, but got it pretty close, so here it is. We got the new one welded on. Tried to match the welds as close as possible to the existing manifold. It's close. I mean, as best as you can get for welding to welded materials, but yeah, so alright, so that one's done. Now next what we got to do is we got to build some spacers. We got to make some aluminum spacers that are 1.3 millimeters thick, which is ridiculous. 24 millimeters around, 25 millimeters around, with a 12.5 millimeter hole through the middle of them. So I'm going to hop over on the lathe. We're going to make those up now, get those done while this manifold is cooling, and then we can get on the 240. Alright guys, so now we're over at the lathe. We got to make up 4 spacers that are 25 millimeters in diameter, have a 12.5 millimeter hole through it, and basically 1.3 millimeters thick, so super thin actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of stock right here, we're going to cut it down to 25 millimeter. Once we get it down to 25 millimeter, we'll bore a 12.5 millimeter hole through the center of it, and then we'll cut each spacer individually. Now I'm going to have you guys set up on the GoPro right there so that hopefully you can kind of get a neat shot of the lathe working back and forth. So here we go. 1.3 millimeter on the dot, every single one of them. And these extra 4 that I made for him are actual 1.2 to 1.4.5-ish, just in case the 1.3s don't quite make it. He's got some extra wiggle room there, so we're good to go. Those are done. Now, hopefully onto this thing. Gotta eat first though. Gotta fill the tank. I'm starving. Pizza time. Alright guys, so here it is. Remember when I told you guys we had a list of things to do on this car? Well, here is the short, long list of stuff that needs to be done to this car. First and foremost, we have to get the oil line installed. The new oil line, because the old one leaked. Secondly, there's a coolant hose that went bad in this car that we're going to have to replace. I think this camera's too high. Might have to come down just a hair. Yeah, it's a bit better. Alright, so oil line replaced. We got to get that in. We got to get that done. Secondly, there is a coolant line in this that needs to be replaced. It's one that broke. Original factory equipment, so we got to get that replaced, and we got to get the power steering pump put back in. Third, we have to get all of the clamps on all of the piping. All of the piping has been installed. None of the clamps are on it. Fourth or fifth or wherever we're at now, we had to finish cutting the holes for the intercooler piping so that we can actually set it through the body. We haven't elongated those holes yet, so those have to be done. Fifth, we got to put the fuel pump in. Sixth, we got to put the AFR gauge in. Seventh, we got to put the Nismotronic in. Eighth, we got to put the injectors in. There's a lot of little things that need to be done with this. They're quick. They'll go fast. We won't have to worry about it once we're done with it. But for right now, we're going to focus today on getting everything in the engine bay done and trying to get this car started. I want to get this car started so that we can check for leaks, oil leaks, coolant leaks, all that other stuff. Once we know none of that is there and there's no fuel leaks, no nothing, we'll put the fuel pump in. We'll put the gauges in, we'll get the Nismotronic in, we'll get the new injectors in, and we'll get all that stuff in and ready to go. But for today, I want to finish up all of the little stuff that's going on. So what I'm going to do now is I'll set you guys up with the GoPro under the hood of the car right about here, and you guys will be able to see a time lapse of me actually finishing up and tidying up all the last little things that need to be done. So I'm going to leave this one on the tripod. I might leave it out here on time lapse so that you guys can get a dual time-lapse view of it, but we'll see what happens. So let's get working on this thing. It's time to get it done.
Hey, hey, pretty baby, pretty baby.
Alright guys, so I think that's going to about wrap it up for tonight. We got the new coolant hose installed, we got the power steering pump back in place, we got the EGR whole setup out of the back of here. He had half taken it off and it was kind of stuck back there, so we got all that out. We got the hole cut for the piping on this side, we got the hole cut for the piping on this side, we got some other stuff tidied up in this area here, we got some more stuff tidied up in this area here. So we actually accomplished quite a bit. Now, here's the problem that I'm running into with this car. And you guys are wondering why it's taking so long. Like I've told you before, the owner of this car actually started the project himself. And after quite a few months of messing around with it, walking away from it, and getting angry with it, and everything else, there's stuff missing. There's bolts missing. We're having to hunt for bolts. We're having to hunt for parts. We're having to hunt for clamps. They didn't send the right couplers with the intercooler kit. There's just a mess of stuff that's going on, and we're trying to get this thing done as soon as possible, but we've had to order parts and order new lines, and things just haven't gone as they should ever go. So we got quite a bit done tonight. We located a bunch of the parts. We got most of it ready to go. There's still a lot more that I need to do that I wanted to do, but guys, it is still 100% humidity here. I'm literally sweating just standing here. It's terrible. I can't stand it anymore. It's making me sick to my stomach, but whatever. It's hot as shit. But yeah, so we definitely have some more work to do on this thing. We're gonna hit it really, really super hard tomorrow morning. See if we can't get this thing completely back together, get it running. But we got a good majority of some more of the hard stuff knocked out of the way. So that's good to go, and I'm happy with it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't checked out Instagram to see who the winner is for the power steering reservoir, go check out Instagram. The video's over there with the winner. We picked from both YouTube and Instagram and put it all in one shot and did it randomly, so you guys will have, equal opportunity. But go check that out. So as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I promise I will see you guys tomorrow with probably episode 6 on this car. Have a good night, everybody.